a YouTube love story, and an announcement. And one of my friends lost a pet. This and much more, so please do stick around. What's up, blind viewers? How is everybody doing today? So let's just go ahead and start. Let's get on with it, shall we? And let's start with some not so good news. That's right. A friend of mine lost their pet, and it's not just our furry friends that we miss.
I think he might be gone. I've put him in a hot water bottle anyway, but either way, he's an old boy, and we've been expecting this. So, yeah, it's happening. If it hasn't happened, it's happening. But, yeah, I think there was definite movement when I picked him up, a response.
So yes, a pet is a pet. Just because it doesn't have fur doesn't mean we aren't sad when we lose our pets. So please go over to Pippa's channel, Wormseye View, and show her a little bit of BV love.
I'm BlindViews. That's how I see it.
All right. Poor Pippa. Next, speaking of pets, we have Eric, Nomadic Fanatic. Got a big robot. That's right. He's got he got this big old giant cat litter box, and it's a self-cleaning one. He said that, with the two cats, it's kind of hard to be keeping up with scooping the poo all the time. So he got this big giant robot thing that kind of does it. But I mean, even for in a house, that's a giant old thing. So I could imagine having it in an RV, but yeah, look at the size of that monster compared to his desk chair. But yeah, it's some kind of fancy fan dangled gizmo there that when the cat goes in, I guess it censors the cat, and then when it comes out, it does a little spinny thing and dumps the hard stuff. And if you use the clumping litter, it dumps that in, and then it saves the other litter and puts it back in. It's pretty cool. I mean, so if you want to see how it works, go check it out. But it is a monstrous beast. But hey, man, if it keeps you from smelling the smells and having to dig in the box all the time, hey, I guess if you want to do it, more power to you, right?
This is BlindViews, and that's the way I see it.
All right, let's keep this thing rolling with Charlie Grace. Now, Charlie, formerly Forever Best Friends, changed her name to Charlie Grace Adventures. And she explains that the Forever Best Friend is a big thing and an app that she wanted to develop and everything in this whole big business, I guess, adventure to be able to help people find a pet that they want. So, you plug in, I want this kind of dog, this color, a male, a female, whatever, blah, 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 and in this area. And in other words, helping people find their pets. But anyway, she explains that, yeah, the name change, why she changed her name and what the direction is going. But, well, here.
Am I still going to be YouTube? Absolutely. Absolutely. Still going to be YouTube. Am I still going to use our membership for helping others and paying it forward? Absolutely. After we pay all the profits are going to be paying it forward, whether it be to rescues or other situations in need. We're going to talk about that as a community. And I think that's really important that we talk about that.
So yeah, she's going to have her, thing. She has it on in other parts of social media, but Charlie Grace Adventures is going to be, it's more importantly, it's going to be more about her travels and what she does. But hey, the furry friends will always be there. It's a big part of her life, and it's a big part of everything she does. But if you want to know why she changed her name and where Forever Best Friends is going to go over to Charlie Grace's venture and check it out. And she will let you know why she did everything. All right. Speaking of change, a guy in an RV built a giant studio. A giant studio. Well, it's not really. Oh, well, here.
In spite of me building this brand new studio, the one thing that I forgot to do was change all the smoke detectors. So that thing chirps, especially when it drops below 20 degrees Celsius inside. And right now it's 19. The thermostat that's over on a wall over there says. So bear with me with the chirping of the smoke detector. I swear I'll change it. It's a safety feature. Anyway, I've been building this big new digital studio because it's horrible weather, as you know, with all the flooding, and pretty much every day is going to be raining for the next 4 or 5 months, it seems. And I do like to shoot things outside, as you all know, because I love nature's light. But you know what? I thought about doing this last year, but I was too lazy, didn't get around to it. So
there you go. A new digital studio. And yeah, if you guys haven't heard, up in BC and even the Pacific Northwest here in the States, flooding, rain, craziness all over the place. So yeah, he decided, well, since I can't really go outside and there's not a whole lot to do with all the rain and everything, let me do a virtual digital studio. So there's some changes for Line Screw 1. That's right. What are you going to do? Hey, you know, adapt and overcome, right? All right. So I guess we're going to have to move on to our top story. That's right. The YouTube love story. Leave Her Wild. Jaylena, she tells the story of how her and her beau met. And they met on the internet. And they're both bus dwellers. They live in their buses and everything. And how they went back and forth and came together. And, well, it's a little bit more than just some bus dwellers now. They have some bigger issues.
Isaac and I met via the internet, I guess.
I'm excited but nervous, and I trust Jaylene enough to know, like, no matter what happens between us, we're gonna make it right with this kid, you know? That's what matters more than anything else. Cause it's like I wanted to be a kid, or not a kid. I am a kid, but like, you know, I was never against it.
I just didn't think it was possible.
But it was like, you know.
Kid, what? Ah, yeah, that's right. The big baby announcement. So if you want to find out how they met, how their journey got them together in the spot that they are now, well, they are soon to be parents, going over to Leave Her Wild and check it on out. All right? Yeah, do that, will you? All right, what do we got next? How about Tina? Tina the Outsider. Yeah, she was down in Florida, and she went to a little tiny home thing and showed us some stuff.
Hold on. Hello, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Oh, how cute. See, this is more like homey.
Yes. We're not a show house. We live here.
So there you go. She shows around and talks to some folks and walks through some of the tiny homes. And they're not all just the little tiny homes that we think of. All kinds of stuff you saw. There's buses and vans and everything else. And even our good friend, Paul Barger, the bread trucker. That's right. He takes the bread truck to some of these tiny home things too. So, yeah, the tiny home places. All right. Speaking of people that live in tiny things, let's talk about Lady Bugout. That's right. She tells us how she eats. What do you mean how she eats? Well, she doesn't have a fridge. So she explains about how she does this and how she prepares meals and what she does when she doesn't have a fridge. She starts out with, I say that people put a lot of trust, I guess, and overemphasize the abilities, I guess you would say, of solar, and how, just because you got a couple 100 watts of solar panels and you got a little battery bank, but if you're charging your phones and charging this and you got lights on and you have a refrigerator running constantly and a bunch of other things and you're in a small van, you always don't have just what you need, especially if you're working, remotely and you're on the computer and everything. The power consumption and the power needs always can't be met with just a couple solar panels, especially this time of year when you don't get all the sun that you want. So she explains that, and that's why she doesn't have a fridge, and she does have some dietary needs, let me just let her tell you.
Many of you have been asking me how I go about eating and cooking without having a refrigerator. I planned having this so that I would be able to be off grid, and you can be off grid these days with a refrigerator for a long time, but it does require a lot of power, or should I say constant power. And then you have to figure out how much that will take in terms of your solar and your power station or whatever you have for an inverter or battery storage.
So yeah, if you want to see how she does it without a fridge, and again, she does have some dietary needs, so it's a little bit different. It may not suit you, but she has some tips for you. So go over to Lady Bugout and check out her channel and see what she's talking about and how she does it in her little van with no fridge. Lady Bugout, good channel, good channel. Now, speaking of Lady Bugout, somebody that hangs out with her a lot is BunnyPlaysHere. That's right, Bunny. She's out and about again, and she's showing us, like she always does, some cool scenery and some interesting places.
For their 14ers, and this one is one of the easier ones to access because of the highway that we have here. So this makes it much more accessible to you and me, even if we don't feel like hiking. But again, I did mention that there are a couple of other ways to get here, including a hike and also the COG. Now, if you've never seen the COG Railway before, it is amazing. The only reason I didn't decide to take it today is because it is a little bit more expensive. Here we can see everything. You can see for miles and miles and miles. It is gorgeous. And you can see kind of how the mountain itself is different in different places. Like right here by us, it looks like it was almost turned up on its side. And then over here, it's more like flat and how it's supposed to be. Now, whenever you do hike up, they call the last little stretch the boulder field. And I can see why from up here, definitely, because it's all boulder.
There you go. BunnyPlaysHere. This one's a little longer, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Go on over and check her out. BunnyPlaysHere for some beautiful views and a typical, awesomely done bunny video. Go check her out. I demand it. She's a cool chick. I really like her channel. All right, now let's talk about Advantures. That's right, Advantures, not Adventures. Advantures Over 50. Now she has some videos after the one I'm talking about, but the one I'm going to talk about now is she goes over her resume. Well, why do I care about her resume? Well, if you've been following her, like I have, she talks about a lot that, well, I was this, I was that, I was anything, you know, from a model to a hairdresser to a legal assistant or whatever. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I mean, just about everything. And I can relate because I've had a ton of jobs throughout my life. I've done all kinds of things, but she has runs the gambit of things that she has done. She's a very accomplished young lady.
So many people have asked what I do or everything I do because I mention stuff, and that's why I said it would probably take me the rest of my days to explain things that I do. And all these things, I love to go to school. I love to learn things, and I didn't realize that till way after I was out of college and, had to pay for schooling myself. But if I found something intriguing and something I wanted to study, then I'd find a way to do it.
There you go. Go check her out. Advantures Over 50. I find her very fascinating, very intriguing. And yeah, she does. She has a big, long laundry list of things that she has accomplished, jobs that she has had, sometimes 2, 3 at a time. But yeah, very, very interesting young lady. Advantures Over 50. Yeah. All right. What we got next? Oh, this guy. Howdy, neighbors. Blue Van Dan. Oh, man. Dan, he is actually really ripping and tearing. He's got the bus looking pretty good. It's not done yet. That's right. But the big bus, it is coming along. He's got some people asking him, how loud is that diesel heater you got in there? So he shows us how loud that thing is. But I think the inside is coming along. Again, I said it's not done yet, but it is coming along. It's looking pretty good. So yeah, good old Dan answering some questions and showing us some cool little lights they got.
These lights out. And when I want to turn them off, turn it on. Creates a pretty good light at night. I have the other one over here hooked up temporarily. But, okay, you can hear the noise of the heater.
There you go, Blue Van Dan, getting all fancy. You see that? High-tech Dan, that's right. Blue Van Dan in the bus. Looking pretty good. It's coming along. It's coming right along. So go over and check out Blue Van Dan and see what he's doing and see how loud that thing is. He takes you outside because he's got the exhaust and everything outside, but you want to know how loud they are, and he shows you how much fuel consumption it goes through too with that thing running all the time. Pretty good stuff. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, you don't have to agree with me. That is never the point here. The point is...
This is BlindViews, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.